Essel here. Welcome to another edition of David Essel Alive. 27 years now we've been on the air. And as you know, over the last several weeks, we've started doing our radio show, which we do right now, and it's going right into archive, right the first 15 or 20 minutes, right on Facebook Live, which is freaking awesome, right? I get a chance to answer questions from all over the USA to help people make better decisions in life, to move to where they want to be. If you ever want to get a hold of us, the website is talkdavid.com. Today we're going to talk about negative news. We've got the concept of being late. People are being late all the time. Is it a problem? Pink cloud in recovery, the fear of public speaking. We've got so many different things that are going to be sharing with you today to give you ideas and thoughts on how you can move from where you are right now. If you ever want to listen to the full program of what we're doing, go to talkdavid.com. And you'll see a little link that says David's radio shows, and you can listen to hours upon hours upon hours of our archive radio shows. Okay, so welcome aboard. Sit back, take notes, have fun. Glad to have you with us. Absolutely glad to have you with us. Question number one, this is out of Seattle, Washington. After a radio interview in Seattle, I saw your website, and I have been overwhelmed with negative news. Could I be addicted? To hear every article about President Trump and more. And if I am, what do I do to get away with it? Well, the number one thing we say is, do you feel irritable? Do you feel judgmental? Like, have you lost compassion? Have you lost the ability to be a good listener? Like, one of the things that negative news does is that it makes us very jaded. And it can really ramp up that feeling of elitism, right? That, like, I'm right, you're wrong. And then to go ahead and prove how right and wrong you are. To me, that's just a sign of an addiction. It's like we need to break away from it. But I'm going to tell you this, for people that I've worked with in the past who've been addicted to negative news, arguing on Facebook, all that kind of stuff, right? It takes time, and there's a withdrawal period. There's an absolute withdrawal period when you're trying to break any addiction. Many clients that I've worked with over the years have found that the very first thing they do in the morning is they get up, they've got to turn on the news. They've got to look at their feed on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. They've got to know what's going on. Are you in that situation? Number one, do you feel like in the first thing in the morning especially that you've got to get up and you've got to be informed, right? Oh my God, that's such a justification for an addiction. That's like saying I've got to go with all my friends to the bar if they want to stay my friends. I've got to go with the salespeople to the bar and drink if I'm going to be a top salesperson. We use all kinds of justifications to keep an addiction going. And why is that? Well, it's scary as hell to be away from the nonsense on the news if you're addicted to it. Now, if you're one of the millions of people that aren't addicted to negative news, that you're not addicted to having to stay up on every Trump this and Trump that, good for you. You're way ahead of the game. I always tell people first thing in the morning, the last thing you want to do is to be engaged in the news. The very last thing, or the stock market, unless you're a broker, or anything else that could actually bring you down. So here's some of the tips we look for in any addiction. Are you more irritable than you were in the past? Are you more argumentative than you were in the past? Do you feel more righteous? Like your side, whether you're pro-Trump, anti-Trump, I could give two craps, but your side is right? Like if you find yourself saying yes to any of these different things that I just threw out at you, then it is absolutely an addiction. And what do? Well, very first thing I'm going to say is absolutely take time off, in a minimal of 2 weeks. If you take 2 weeks off of watching news first thing in the morning, there's going to be a withdrawal period, absolutely. You could become more irritable. You could become more self-righteous. You could become more argumentative just because of the fact you're going through a withdrawal process. For our viewers and our listeners right now, if you've ever gone through any type of withdrawal, nicotine, sugar, spending, alcohol, opiates, whatever it might be, you know in the beginning that there is irritability, that there's an inability to sleep many times, that there's a frustration level and anxiety level, right? Well, if you're feeling any of those while you take this 2-week break from your morning news or your news feed, whatever it might be, that's normal. It will get easier. Withdrawal does take time. But I'll tell you what, if you want to feed your mind first thing in the morning with something positive, put your effort into that. Journaling, meditation, prayer, walking in nature, reading something motivational, doing something the very first thing in the morning, I think is the most important time for you to spend on your positive side of your brain, not the news. Trust me, the news is going to be there at noon. You ain't going to miss something crucial. Okay? You won't. I've been in media for 27 years, and even though my media is a little different than the normal media, I have to stay abreast of the national topics, but I never would do it first thing in the morning. You'll see me on a treadmill in the afternoon reading the New York Times or USA Today because I do have to stay abreast on certain things. But I will never be obsessed with it. I'll never make it the most important part of my day. If your crutch is to reach out first thing in the morning and to check the news, that's an addiction. Think about it, okay? You're tuned in to David Essel Live right here, the first 15 or 20 minutes every week. We do right now, and you're tuning in and you want more positive news, then go to talkdavid.com and you'll get all the positive news you can handle, okay? Next question that came in, this is from Oklahoma. On a recent radio show, you said being late, another addiction word, being late regularly can be a form of addiction where we become extremely self-centered in life. Please explain. This is Oklahoma. Welcome. So glad to have you with us. We went from Seattle to Oklahoma. God knows where we're going next. Oh, my Lord, we've worked over the years with clients that are consistently late. And they'll say that it's their personality type. They'll say it's out of their control. But you know what it is? Honestly, if we're consistently late, and I know this is going to shock the shit out of people that are always late, it's a form of an addiction and it's a form of self-centeredness. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're meeting someone for lunch at noon and you always show up at 12:15 or 12:20. What you're saying to that person is my time and what I have to do before meeting you, which is going to cause me to be late, is more important than your time with you being on time. Isn't that amazing? It's like so absolutely true. I'm going to repeat that. When we're consistently late, now every once in a while you get a flat tire, your kid throws up in the car, whatever it might be, there's emergencies that happen that you're going to be late. But if you're consistently late, that's an absolute sign of self-centeredness. Now, a lot of people get really pissed off at me when I say that because they go, oh my God, that's not me. I'm just fill in the blank. But it really truly is. Being late. Now, I've worked with people with ADD, ADHD, bipolar, depression, anxiety, and we have learned coping skills, even with all of those conditions, to help them learn how to be on time. It is a choice. Now, a lot of us grew up in environments where mom or dad were always late. So in the subconscious mind, we're saying it's normal. It's just normal. People are late. Mom and dad's always late, right? Or maybe you just go ahead and repeat what they taught you. Or maybe like one of my clients from another country that I'm working with, she grew up in a household where mom and dad were like drill sergeants. Oh my God. Everything was perfectly placed on the minute. They had to eat by a certain time. They had to be finished eating at a certain time. They were giving so many minutes to dress. I mean, it was like really and crazy incredible. Well, she grew up and she fought back. And to this very day, as a young adult, she's never on time. And when we examine why she is still revolting against authority being mom and dad when she grew up, but even now at work, business meetings, she's always 15 to 20 minutes late. And when we uncovered the reason why that she's still projecting out against mom and dad being so incredibly strict with the time limit, it made sense. And now she's making changes. It's not easy. It's a very difficult thing to change because she's been like this for 30 plus years. But you can do it. A couple of weeks ago, I was working with a gentleman who's fully in love with this wonderful woman. They both came in, and he was saying to me as she was sitting there, I love my girlfriend. We're talking about getting engaged. We want to live together, but she's 20, 30 minutes late everywhere. And the straw that broke the camel's back was last week we were meeting at the movies, and I said to her, the movie starts at 7. Please arrive at 7:45 so we can relax and walk in. And she said, not a problem. She didn't have the kids that night. It wouldn't be an issue. And she came in 40 minutes late. The movie had already started. He went in and sat down. She had to buy her own ticket. It created all kinds of hell in their relationship. So when I asked her what had gone on, she said, I don't know. The time just got away from me. I was picking up around the house and, doing really good things. But the fact is that her interest far outweighed his desire to have her at the movie when it started. Like, she lost herself in doing things for herself instead of respecting the agreement that she made that she would be there on time. Get it? If you need more help, contact me at talkdavid.com. Also, don't forget, like, this is just the beginning of one of our shows, right? We have thousands of hours of archived shows at talkdavid.com. Just look for the little link that says David's Radio Show. Click there, and you can listen for days, weeks, months, even years, all right? So glad you're with us. Welcome aboard, David Essel Live, here live on Facebook. Let's go to the next one. What is the pink cloud in recovery? Oh, my God, this is so important. I'm 30 days sober, and I'm on top of the world. You mentioned this in a podcast you were a guest on, and this is out of Florida. Whew. Pink clouds. So the pink cloud is this phrase that we use in recovery that says that prematurely people feel they have their addiction whipped. Prematurely is the key. So 30, 60 days, let's say they've been drinking for 20 years, or they've been spending emotionally for 20 years or 10 years, or they've been smoking for 5 years and they're just getting clean, or they've been a control freak or a procrastinator, whatever the addiction is. And 30 days into it, we feel we've got the world by the tail. That's called the pink cloud. When you look at the number of years that you've struggled with your addiction, whatever it might be, to sugar, to television, to whatever, and in 30 days you go, oh my God, I know I struggled with this for 15 or 20 years, but I've got this nailed. I have mastered the art of this. That's called the pink cloud. It's a premature belief system that you have whipped your addiction's butt. And most of us fall victim to it. It's like, really, I'm working with clients right now where the guy is still in the center, still in a rehab center. And he told his wife that when he gets out in 2 weeks, he's been there for 2 weeks, when he gets out at the end of 30 days, he's going to start helping other people get sober. See, that's the pink cloud. 30 days of recovery, you're nowhere near helping others. As a matter of fact, I tell people, don't even think about helping others for several years. Get a couple really strong years of sobriety underneath your belt before you go telling people about your story or trying to help the world. That's the pink cloud, and you're probably going to fall off. You're going to crash from the cloud, and then it gets really difficult. Every time you crash, it's harder and harder to get back up. Okay? Hey, I love these questions. These questions are coming from all over the USA. You're tuned in to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show. Every week, we do the first 15 or 20 minutes here on Facebook Live, and the rest of it's going to be at our website, talkdavid.com, so check it out. We've got one more question for today. And then we're gonna end this, but you can go to the website and listen to any of our past shows. The last one, this is from another one from Oklahoma. I go on radio shows all over the country, and normally after I'm on a radio show in Seattle or New York or Boston or Oklahoma or Florida, then we start getting all kinds of questions that I use for our show here. So out of Oklahoma, I have an intense fear of speaking in public, yet my boss said I have to begin leading our sales meetings in 30 days. On a recent Ohio radio show, interesting, you said that this was normal. Help. All right, so they're in Oklahoma and they were listening to me on an Ohio radio show, probably via the internet, right? Listen, we just posted on Facebook the other day, we just posted this article about someone who was told they were going to lose their job if they didn't do this. And this happened to be what you're struggling with, and that's public speaking. First of all, it's extremely normal to be afraid and to be petrified of speaking in public. According to the Gallup poll, most people rank speaking in public with more fear than dying. I mean, and that's been for 50 or 60 years, that poll continues to repeat the same end result. Incredible, isn't it? So, first of all, no, it's normal. Secondly, you've got to attack it right now. You really do. If you've got 30 days to lead a sales meeting, first thing I would do is I'd go on the internet and start Googling how to be a public speaker. We offer a course, and in the article that I said that we posted on Facebook just the other day, there's a whole article talking about a woman who's in the same situation. She was in marketing, and her boss said that if you don't learn how to become a proficient public speaker, even for our small group of people here, you're probably going to lose your job. I mean, it was that serious. So go to talkdavid.com and you can look at our public speaking course. Go on YouTube and Google how to present, how to prepare. Like, I'll tell you this right now. The most important key to public speaking is your preparation, is your outline. That's number one. If you're going to go into a sales meeting or a networking meeting, or you're going into the Lions Club to talk about your organization or your business, if you don't have a really well constructed outline of where you're going to go, what's your introduction, what are your points that you want to make, and at the very bottom of it, how are you going to close? If you don't have this in writing, not in here, this means crap. I swear to God, this doesn't mean anything. Have it in writing. Have notes. Have some kind of an outline that you're going to really fine tune in order to show people that you're super organized. Over time, you can put the notes away. Over time, you don't have to even lean on them. But in the beginning, hell yes, lean on them. When we teach our public speaking course, we say to clients, number one is outlines. Hey, Harry, great to have you with us. Number one is outlines. Number two is if you need to use props, use props. A prop could be pictures. It could be a magazine that you hold up. It could be an outline that you hold up. It could be anything to take the pressure off of you being the focal point of attention, number one. And number two, it keeps you guided on the points you want to make. So let's say you're talking to the sales company or your sales team, or you're talking to any organization, and you have 4 props in front of you. Well, you know when you pick up prop number 1, you're going to talk about a certain topic, right? When you put that down and go to 2, you know you're going to talk about another topic. So I love it when people do this. It shows that they've thought ahead of time. It shows they're organized. Some people use flipboards, right? Where that they'll write notes on all these different pages and then they'll just turn and go through every note. That's fine. Oh my God, in the beginning, don't worry about it. Other people use PowerPoint. Now, my big concern about PowerPoint or anything electronic, and you know where I'm going with this, is if the electricity goes out, baby, you're screwed. If you become hyper dependent upon any kind of electronic device to walk you through your presentations and it goes out, unless you've got it memorized and you're an amazing speaker, you're screwed. So I don't really encourage beginning speakers to lean on anything that has to do with electronics. But number 1, outline. Number 2, props to keep your mind, spirit, and energy moving in the right direction. You've been watching and listening to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show, right here on Facebook. We're done with this part of the broadcast. Now I'm going to go and finish the rest of this show online. But don't forget to go to talkdavid.com. Look at that tiny little link at the top that says David's radio show, and you can listen to thousands of hours, months, years of radio archive shows. We've been in the business for 27 years. We love talk radio, so make sure you go and do that, okay? I'm going to wish everyone a phenomenal day. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time on David Essel Live here on Facebook Live. Bye now.